Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals. Welcome back to my channel. So I have in front of me this bag, this paper bag from Typo, which is a shop that sells stationery items and decor items as well. And when I went to the pantry and I noticed in the bin there was this bag, and so I pulled it out and thought I could salvage it and turn it into a journal. And I thought that I would put the camera on and take you along for this journey as I show you how I make this journal. So in this video, I'll show you how I make the cover, and then later on I'll show you how I put together pages for it and bind it and all that kind of thing. So there's on the front and the back, this was I guess that's the front because it has the logo. Well, not even sure if that's the logo, but that's the name of the shop, Typo, and I love how it's written in typewriter font. That's kind of cool. And I like the picture with the deer with the antlers and the bird sitting on the antlers. Thought that's kind of sweet. And I thought I would make use of that too, and that ends up becoming my inside cover. And actually, when I put the camera on, I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do, how I was going to turn this into a journal. But yeah, I just wanted to have a play around one day. And yeah, what I ended up doing was grabbing one of these smaller envelopes. And I'm just trying to figure out how I can place it, what I can do. And I wanted it to go the right way up. So I just placed it along that way. Thankfully it did fit. So first I'm just going to close up the envelope opening so that doesn't come loose, and then I've just got a Bostik glue stick, and that's going to stick the bag, or it's not really a bag anymore, is it? One side of the bag onto the cover and just keep it in place because I will be taking it to my sewing machine. The bag was quite thick, and so I wanted to make sure that it was sewn around the edges just to make sure it doesn't lift off or anything, so it's definitely attached. And then I'm just lining it up and putting it in the middle, and then what I do is cut around it. So one way you could make the envelope journal is to obviously fold the edges around the envelope and do those, the diagonal cuts at each corner, and then fold each side down. But there wasn't enough of this bag to go around, so I just thought I'd show you this is another method you can use if you don't have a piece of paper or, I don't know, fabric or whatever you want to use, bag that isn't big enough to do that. You can just simply cut around the edges and then sew around the edges, and it's still fine. Just another way to upcycle things, even though it might not be the full size or the ideal size, we can still make it work. And so yeah, now I'll just trim around the edges, so cutting it flush against the yellow envelope. And then my cat Keanu has come to visit and say hello, just checking on what I'm doing. Always love it when he comes to visit, and he's come to sit down as well. And then just skipped forward a little bit while I cleaned up my desk, and then folded it in half so that this is what the front cover looks like. I like how it has that bingo, the bingo card there. And then what do I do? For the inside cover, I grab the other piece of that brown paper bag, and I just want to line it up so that it's centered, so the image of the deer is in the middle of the cover. And I did want to keep the words Typo because I just like the font pretty much, and again it just reminds me of a typewriter. I love typewriters. And so just trying to find out how to center it properly and it fit really well in the cover actually. I like how when you fold it in half, you get to see the word typo on the back cover, and you get to see the deer and the bird on the front inside cover. So again, just grabbing my glue stick and covering the surface, and then placing the paper bag, one side of a paper bag on top, and then just making sure it's all lined up nicely and pressed down. And then I grab my scissors and just cut that down again to size. So it did move a little bit, but that's okay. All you do, if it doesn't line up perfectly, is you can trim the edges a second time. And I think that's what happens often when the cover gets folded, because the surface area increases on the outside surface but decreases on the inside surface. There's a little bit of movement, I find, with the covers, the outside and inside. So that's all fine. I just grab my scissors and trim around it again so that they line up evenly. And yeah, I just grab my ruler so that I can find the middle groove to fold it. Oh, and then cut forward again. I took it to my sewing machine and I used brown thread, dark brown thread, for the stitching to give it a vintage feel, and just used zigzag stitch and went all the way around and along the spines just to make sure it's really secure, and really happy with that. So thank you so much for watching. Oh dear, we're at black screen. And I'll see you in the next video in this series where I will get the pages ready. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.